Hi, welcome to the Illinois School of Professional Psychology. This is our program overview, and today I will be telling you about our PsyD program in clinical psychology. My name is Dr. Tina Simmons, and I am the Outreach and Enrollment Specialist with ISPP. Today will be a broad and general overview, but if you have any specific questions, I would be more than happy to connect with you one-on-one. So the Illinois School of Professional Psychology has been around since 1976. We were actually the 8th oldest PsyD program in the country, and we came to National Louis University in 2019. The PsyD program is held out of our Chicago, Illinois campus, and currently we have about 1,800 alumna worldwide. We are APA accredited, so the PsyD program at the Illinois School of Professional Psychology earned accreditation from the American Psychological Association's Commission on Accreditation, and the program received the maximum amount, which is 10 years. So our next site visit won't be until 2031. APA made this announcement after their July 2021 meeting, and our accreditation was valid as of May 2021. So this is very good news for our program and our students. So the Illinois School of Professional Psychology, as I mentioned, was founded in 1976 by a group of psychologists. And the thought process for this type of degree is these were psychologists who were trained in research-focused PhD programs, going out into the community and working with clients and finding that they might have liked more supervision and more oversight on the clinical side of things when they were students. So they developed this practitioner-scholar model of training. And today we continue to build on this tradition of health service psychology, and students who graduate from our program are eligible to sit for the ISPP exam, which is that of a health service psychologist. So our program is going to be a combination. Of course, there still is a research component, there still is theory, but there's also experiential elements, and students receive supervision through classroom exercises and from the faculty members within the program. And there's also field experience in the form of practica and internship. We consider ourselves to have what's almost called a mentorship model, meaning that if we accept you into our program, we want you to finish. Our faculty are very dedicated into making sure you are supported and can get across that finish line. And I think that our faculty are one of the things that attracts the students the most to our program. So we have technically 2 degrees at ISPP at NLU. We've got the PsyD program in clinical psychology and a Master of Arts in clinical psychology, but the MA in clinical psych is embedded within the PsyD. So students all enter the PsyD, but after their second year could earn their master's in clinical psychology. It's completed after their second year. We have 4 concentrations within the PsyD. Students do not have to choose a concentration, but if you are interested, we've got client-centered and experiential psychotherapy, health psychology, trauma, and child and adolescent will be coming very soon. Quick facts about us: we've got about 84 students in the program, and the program is 98 credits in length. The average time to completion is just over 5 years. I will say it's very doable to finish the PsyD program in 5 years, but you have to finish it within 7. It's important to know that our program is offered in a face-to-face daytime learning environment. So all of the classes are downtown Chicago, face-to-face, and they can be held anytime between the hours of 9 and 6. It's not every day, it's not all day, but students should expect to be on campus for a portion of their week for classes. Students can work in this program, but it does have to be something that's flexible and or part-time. So here is really where I dive into the curriculum, and I think it gives students a very good idea about what to expect in the program. So in the first year, you guys are just focusing on coursework. We really want you to build that foundation, focus on the initial coursework before we send you off to working with clients. So you'll see here that it's just courses in your first year. You've got about 28.5 credits, give or take. And in the fall, it's 14 weeks in winter. In summer, you'll have classes for 7.5 weeks. So a couple of the classes I like to highlight. One is going to be professionalization group. And what that is, it is a kind of like a homeroom for grad students. Our program director, Dr. Leah Horvath, teaches every section of professionalization group. because she really wants to get to know our students right from the beginning, and so that they get comfortable in coming to her with any issues or any comments that they have when they're going throughout the program. So that one is a 0 credit course. We also have personal and professional development group. This is a group psychotherapy course taught in an experiential way. So it's very experiential. You're talking to your classmates, learning how to provide and receive feedback. And I think students get a lot out of it. A couple other things I want to highlight: the assessment sequence. So one of the things you can do as a psychologist that you might not do as another mental health professional will be assessment. So for us, we break it down into cognitive assessment in fall, personality assessment in winter, and then in the summer, you have the option to do neuropsych assessment, forensic assessment, or projectives. So basically, these are tools that you can use as a clinician to help essentially diagnose and work with clients and really dig in and figure out what they are going through. So we'll move on to the second year. And in your second year in the program, you are going to be taking a combination. So starting in year 2, you will do your diagnostic practicum. So you learned about the assessments in year 1. In year 2, you begin your diagnostic practicum. This is about 16 hours of work in addition to your classes, and this will be at different practicum sites. It takes place over the course of 9 to 12 months. And yes, we have a very involved training process. So you will apply to the different sites and our training department will guide you in that application process. We have about 200 sites within our database, so there is a ton for our students to choose from. In addition to practicum, you'll be going off into the community. You also will have a seminar, which is what you see there in PsyD 815. A seminar is basically supervision, so that faculty member that teaches that course is going to work with you on your clinical skills. So really, this is how you learn how to become a psychologist. You also will take some of your theory courses, for example, person-centered. One of the things about our program is that there's not just one theory that we believe all clinicians need to adhere to. We teach you what we consider to be the 4 main ones. So person-centered, CBT, psychoanalytic, and family systems, so that by the end you'll really have a deep understanding of all, but you can pick and choose between them depending on your clients. You will also start your research sequence. You see here there's statistics and research methods. All of this is building towards your 3rd year, where you begin your CRP, which is the clinical research project, also known as a dissertation. So we do have a research component in this program. In 3rd year, you will also do your therapy practicum, another 16 to 20 hours a week for a total of 650 hours. And it takes place over the course of 9 to 12 months. So you'll have your second training experience in your 3rd year. And in your 4th year, you are going to have a couple of options. 4th year, you will have the option, you're finishing up your electives, but then you'll see there some students do an advanced practicum. So advanced practicum is basically increasing your marketability for internship. It allows you to get more hours. We call it optional, but it's really, really highly encouraged, especially if the student's coming to us not having had a master's degree already. So you're finishing your coursework. Of course, you're working on your CRP. You have to get your CRP through the institutional review board before internship. And then the big thing you're doing in 4th year is applying to internship. Internship is your entire 5th year, and this is a paid position, but you are going to be able to do internship anywhere in the country. So we have students that move all over to complete their internship, but again, that one is paid. And it's about 1,500 hours, and that's a full-time gig your last year. And then once you finish all of that, you are completed in the program. I keep going back to this slide for some reason, but let's move forward. So as I mentioned, we do have a CRP requirement. So that's the clinical research project. It's equivalent to a dissertation. And what it does, it requires students come up with a set of questions, and you actually have to conduct the research to try and answer these research questions. So these can be qualitative, quantitative, experimental, case study, and you do have to disseminate your research, whether that's a defense or a presentation at a conference. It typically takes students about 12 to 18 months to complete, and I have some of the sample CRP topics below. One of the things that's great about a PsyD is that you're coming into the program with your own research interests. So you're not building upon one of our faculty members' research interests, you're developing your own within that program. So again, our program is designed to lead to licensure. What's great is that you can sit for licensure in any state. I will say each state has their own licensing requirements. So you got to make sure if you want to move to a different state that you can sit for it, but you will be taking the same exam, and that's that EPPP exam. And after this, you'll be considered what's called a health service psychologist, also known as a clinical psychologist. And then of course, to stay licensed, you have to keep current, and most states do require CEUs, continuing education units. Where do clinical psychologists work? Everywhere. They can do private practice, they can work with children, hospitals, university counseling, they can teach. A lot of people think that PsyD trained psychologists don't teach. That is incorrect. They definitely can teach. And we have PsyD that teach within our program. They can work with staff psychologists, clinical supervisors, they can work within the military or VA, and of course, community mental health. And I put the median wage down there from 2019 was $78,200, and that's from a website called ONet Online. This is our ISPP faculty. All of their bios are linked to our website, so I definitely encourage you to take a look. Dr. Horvath here is our program director. So in addition to teaching, she does run our program, and she also works as a psychologist and still sees students. In fact, all of our faculty members have worked professionally in the field. Like Dr. Rector worked at a hospital, Dr. Warner's in private practice, as is Dr. Zakowski and Dr. Newberry, and Dr. Vitalis is more of an expert in the scientific side of things. So these are our core faculty. Currently, there are 6. I keep going back to this slide. I really want you to understand that first year is tough. Here we go. Tuition and funding. So for tuition, our program is going to be $11.62 a credit. And again, it's a 98 credit hour program. Financial aid is available to those that qualify, and you would find out if you qualify by filling out that FAFSA. If you qualify for aid, you're going to be looking at being able to borrow about $33,000 per academic year in student loans. There's also something called a Graduate Plus loan, and that one is a loan that is credit-based, but it allows you to borrow an additional amount should you need to do so. We do have some scholarships within the university. For example, the Director's Scholarship is our largest one, and that's a 25% discount. It's very competitive, of course. We also have Leadership Scholarship and Diversity Scholarship for $5,000 each. National Louis does offer scholarship to both the military as well as their alumni. We have had students work as teaching assistants. So essentially you're working and helping one of our faculty members run their course, maybe doing office hours or study hours, things like that. There's also work study as an option, so working on campus. And then if applicable, here is a link to some of the partnership agreements we have with other employers. There are 5 foundation courses that we require students complete before entering the program. And these can be at your undergrad, but they do have to be passed with a B or better. You've got Intro to Psych, Abnormal Psych, Statistics or Research Methods, and then 2 additional courses in psychology of any kind. I will review your transcripts and let you know if there's anything that is missing. So let's talk about the admissions requirements. Our application is held through something called PsyCast. It's a common application for graduate study, so you'll complete it there. They have an $85 application fee. We also require a personal statement, resume, 3 letters of recommendation, and transcripts from all schools attended. For your recommendation letters, we need 1 from a faculty and 2 can be from faculty or other professionals that can recommend your ability to do graduate level work and or to become a psychologist. And for your personal statement, it really should be a self-appraisal of your qualifications for the field. And why is it that you want to do this specific program? We do not require the GRE, that is optional. And we're going to be looking for a minimum of a 3.0 from your bachelor's degree and or a 3.25 or better from your graduate degree. Once I have all of that, I will send it to the admissions committee and they will decide if we want to have you interview. If we do, we would schedule that interview with some of our faculty members. And then once we do that, you find out if you're accepted. So that is the very last slide. Again, my name is Dr. Tina Simmons, and I am the only one that works with our PsyD program. So my contact information is here. I would be more than happy to speak with you if you have any follow-up questions. But thank you so much for your time, and I can't wait to speak with you. Bye.